Is it running now? I believe so. Good day. Wow, the sun is so nice. My name is Martin Schweiger, and I'm a patent attorney in Singapore and also a powerlifter. Today is Monday, the 7th of July, 2025. And yeah, it's the final week before the competition in Japan, in Himeji. It's an international competition, but not something that comes with a title. It's, I would say it's more a fun event. Little holiday for me, combined with a competition where I can get a medal, or maybe not. For me, it's more like a opportunity to improve my metabolic health. Anyway, well, my yesterday's video was very long, almost 1.5 hours. And I lost my microphone, the Lark M2 microphone that I attached with a magnet to my shirt. So this time I am wearing, from now on, I wear one that I carry around the neck. I hope that this is less prone to be lost. Yesterday something interesting happened. You know, I'm using the Strongman Health and Fitness AI, ChatGPT. Today I'm using just a manual stick. Now back to the thing. In addition to the microphone, I went away from the gimbal because it's heavy and lacks one feature, which is once the battery is empty, you can no longer put it in a fixed position. So now I'm using a wooden stick with a mobile phone attachment. And yeah, but now, what has happened with my robot yesterday? I asked the robot, now can I reward myself with a coconut? And the robot said, yes, of course, coconut, not bad. Healthy, not much sugar. And so I tried it out. And you need to know there are two types of coconuts here in Singapore. The first one is the Malaysia one, is a fresh coconut. It's green, comes with a full husk. And I believe that's the more healthy one. And then there's a second type where the husk has been removed. And then there's the liquid and the flesh. And I believe they add sugar because it was very sweet. And when I had it, it was already suspicious. And what happened is, a very short time after I drank the coconut water, my blood sugar began to spike. And I was just lucky because I was using my Abbott continuous blood glucose meter, and it showed me that there's suspicious going on. I got the spike of blood sugar. And because of the spike in blood sugar, my breath acetone readings went down from over 80 or 90 to 20 something, which means that my body switched from burning ketones to burning glucose, which is from that coconut. So that coconut is probably one of the worst things that you can drink or eat. So, and I was, asking my GPT, and he said, "No worries, that's a learning lesson." Yes, and it is one. So stay away from those coconuts that come wrapped in this transparent cellophane wrap, food wrap, and this is really bad. They added sugar, I'm very sure. This was not natural. So, but my GPT told me, my AI told me, never mind, just don't eat anything else, go to bed, and you will see overnight, you will go back into ketonic mode. And this morning, my body weight, very nice, 104.0 kg. The breath acetone was back to 50, which is not full-fledged ketones burning, but not bad. My blood sugar was in the 5s, also okay. By the way, the offset of the Abbott Freestyle sensor became less. When I say that, I mean the difference between the reading of the continuous glucose meter from Abbott and my finger prick blood glucose measurement is now closer to each other. That's why it's so important not only to take one measurement, but maybe a measurement method, but two measurement methods. So, and then I asked, can I have a smoothie? And then, yes, of course. And then I took all my supplements and was all okay. So, and now this is now noontime. And when I usually start for my walk, then I would ask, what should I do? And it said, okay, measure the finger prick blood glucose and the blood ketones, which I did, and also the breath ketones. And my breath acetones, not ketones, were still at about 50. My blood ketones were 1.1, so I believe millimole per liter or something. And my blood sugar was 6 point something. And it's amazing how the GPT is right. This morning, my blood sugar was about value 1 less. And the GPT suggested that I have a short walk. And I didn't, because I thought, it's so low, because it was before I adjusted the offset. So I didn't go for a walk. I should have done so, because that would have prevented the morning spike from happening. Because whenever I wake up, in the few hours after waking up, I have a blood glucose ramp that goes up. And that blood glucose ramp can be prevented from happening simply by taking a short walk, 15 minutes, 30 minutes. Even a stepper would do. Trampoline would be nice. Maybe I take this as a reason to buy one of those trampolines. Yep. And now, short before I left, after doing the finger prick tests, it was quite cruel to me. Because it said, hey, you're not back into full ketones, ketonic mode. I recommend that you fast. And it said, don't break fast yet, because I'm on fasting, right? Since yesterday, after the coconut, I didn't eat anything except some broth, maybe some nuts and a bit of cheese. And today, I'm in this intermittent fasting mode. And because of the recommendation, ChatGPT, I will just postpone my intermittent fasting break by an hour or two. I have a job interview in about 30 minutes. So yeah, I will shift the fasting break to after the job interview. And I find it quite interesting because without the help of AI, I would have missed that insight completely. And that's again why I think it's so important that if you suffer from a metabolic syndrome and you plan to heal it without taking pharmaceuticals, that you get the AI, because otherwise I believe it's impossible for a human being, even for a medical doctor, to interpret the measurement data. And you don't need much measurement data. And it, for example, if you know that you're in ketonic mode for a long time already, days, like I was for 5 days in a row, and your breath analyzer tells you that your breath acetones are more than 99, no need to measure the ketones. But in a situation like now, when my breath analyzer tells me that somehow I produced less breath acetone, then it is important to take a measurement of the blood ketones, because only that would tell me whether the liver would produce ketones, or the liver would produce ketones from fat in the body or from food. And that's important, because the difference between what is used in ketones and blood glucose, ketones and the total need and what the ketones provide, would be taken from blood glucose. And then the question is, from where is the blood glucose? Is it from outside, stored, or is it produced by the body? Neoglucogenesis, or what? So in order to determine what happens in your body, you need to measure. Important. And once you have measured, then I need AI in order to interpret it. And I'm really experienced now after 1.5 years in interpreting body measurement data. And I still don't get it. I would like to know, how would a medical doctor do that? And that's one more reason why I'm not convinced with what medical doctors tell us. We should go deeper ourselves and find out more, not only about our own body, but also about what you can measure and what you can rectify without taking pharmaceuticals. Let me pull this straight. Crossing the road.
Wait,
Yeah. Then I discovered another thing. Because metabolic health can also be disturbed by things that you do not, by things that you are not eating, but by things that happen in your body because of some external event. For example, if you take antibiotics, then the antibiotics may cause changes to your body, for example. And all this is captured or partly captured under the expression SIBO, S-I-B-O. And it's small intestine bacteria overgrowth, I believe. And that means that bacteria from the large intestines, the bowels, I believe, grow over into the small intestines. The small intestines, as far as I understood, don't have much bacteria, only very little. The small intestines is for taking all the nutrients out from your food. And the bacteria can also not grow into the stomach because the environment is so acidic. But what can happen is that you have overgrowth of the fecal bacteria from the large intestine into the small intestines. And then because the lifetime of these bacteria is not long, they would die, and they have substances in the remaining dead bodies that are poisonous if they get into the bloodstream. But sitting in the small intestines, they are almost there in the bloodstream, and that can cause a lot of nonsense. And you know what I always say, never treat anything until you can measure it. There's a way to measure that. And I found a video of a Mr. Dr. William Davis, I believe. And he determines the measurement whether or not you have bacteria in your small intestine by measuring the time from eating a substance that these bacteria feed on, like inulin, until they produce gas. And the gas production can be measured either by your feeling, which means you feel some bloating or whatever, or there are even devices that can measure that. And I want to try it out, but not this week, because the inulin would cause a spike in blood glucose, and also has fiber, which takes water, binds water in my gut, and I don't want this. I stopped eating fiber last week already, and what I can tell you is that my body very likely has very, very, very little fiber in my guts. So the bacteria in my guts are not happy because there's not much to feed on for them. It's not healthy, but for the 5 days left, it's okay, I would say. So, So that is definitely something that I'm going into. And this Dr. Davis, he also provided a manual on how to rectify if that happens, rectify that condition if it happens. And it mainly consists in eating yogurt that are made from very specific strains that are hostile to those bacteria in the gut, in the large intestine. So that's my plan, and that's one of the projects I'm going into. And then measure again. I'm almost back. Another thing that I saw today was that I met someone, or I read about someone in my close environment who accumulates every night 4 hours REM sleep, random eye movement sleep, and deep sleep, which is measured by my Oura ring. And I have very little, I have less than 1 hour of those. And it seems to me that when I ask my AI, that you can increase the numbers of REM and deep sleep without needing a multiple of the sleep time that I'm currently having. So I have about 5 hours per night in average sleep. And of this 5 hours, maybe 1 hour is REM and deep sleep combined. Maybe half, sometimes more. But what my GPT says, that I can get within 1 week from 1 hour REM and deep sleep to 4 hours REM and deep sleep. I just need to increase my sleep time of over 7 hours or 8 hours, and then that would be taken care of. And to me that sounds very attractive. And of course, these 8 hours need to be somehow undisturbed, comfortable, temperature-wise. And I can measure it. So that's my plan for the very near future. Do experiments and cranking up my sleep. And it was very encouraging to meet such a person online and to hear what she has to tell me. Very encouraging. And I believe that's also important to have people around you that are on the same journey, so you can share and learn from each other. Okay, I'm almost back. See you next time.